There is a silent and invisible thief that stalks the lives of millions of women as they journey past the age of 60. It is a thief that operates in the deep internal architecture of our very being, a thief that steals not our possessions, but our structure, our resilience, and our very foundation. It does not announce its presence with pain or with any obvious symptoms. It works quietly year after year, hollowing us out from the inside, until one day, a simple, unexpected event, a misstep on a curb, a trip on a rug, or even a vigorous hug from a grandchild, results in a sudden, catastrophic, and life-altering crack. We are talking about the devastating reality of a fragility fracture, the tragic and often preventable consequence of the silent epidemic of osteoporosis. The problem we are going to confront today, in its entirety, is the profound and dangerously oversimplified narrative that we, as women, have been fed for decades about the health of our bones. We have been taught a simple, and as we will see, a tragically incomplete two-part story. We have been told to take our calcium pills, to drink our milk, and that this, combined with a bone density scan every few years, is the sum total of what we can do to protect ourselves. We are led to believe that the precipitous loss of bone that occurs after menopause is an inevitable and largely untreatable hormonal fate, a one-way street to a future defined by the fear of falling and the specter of a broken hip. But what if this simplistic, calcium-centric model is a dangerous half-truth? What if the relentless focus on this one single mineral has made us completely blind to the complex and beautiful symphony of nutrients that are all required to build and to maintain a strong, resilient, and fracture-proof skeleton? What if the very supplements we are told to rely on can, in some cases, be ineffective or even harmful if not supported by the right synergistic cofactors? And what if the secret to not just slowing bone loss, but to actively nourishing and strengthening your bones, is not found in a chalky, hard-to-swallow pill, but in a delicious, humble, and astonishingly powerful superfood that you can easily incorporate into your daily diet? Today, we are going to embark on the most important and empowering journey into the science of female skeletal health you have ever taken. We will dismantle the outdated and dangerous calcium-only myth and replace it with a new, holistic, and scientifically validated model of bone nutrition. We will explore the hidden and often overlooked nutritional players that are the true architects of a strong and flexible skeleton. We will then unveil a specific, and in many ways, a perfect food, a bone-building superfood, that delivers not just one, but a complete, synergistic team of these essential nutrients in a single, delicious package. We will not just name this food. We will spend hours dissecting its remarkable, multi-pronged mechanism of action, explaining how it provides the raw materials, the hormonal signals, and the anti-inflammatory protection that your bones so desperately need. This is not about a quick fix. This is a masterclass in rewriting your own skeletal destiny. It is your definitive guide to using the profound wisdom of nutrition to build a foundation that is not brittle and fragile, but is strong, resilient, and ready to carry you with confidence and with joy for all the years to come. Before we can appreciate the profound genius of our nutritional solution, we must first have a deep and intimate understanding of the living miracle that is our own skeleton. We have been taught to think of our bones as inert, lifeless, chalk-like structures, like the scaffolding of a building. This is a profound and fundamental misunderstanding. Your bones are a dynamic, living, and incredibly metabolically active organ, just like your heart, your liver, or your brain. Your skeleton is in a constant, lifelong state of remodeling. You have two types of specialized cells that are in a perpetual, delicate dance. On one side, you have cells called osteoclasts. You can think of these as the demolition crew. Their job is to seek out old, damaged, or microfractured sections of bone and to dissolve or resorb that old bone tissue. On the other side, you have cells called osteoblasts. These are the construction crew. Their job is to follow behind the osteoclasts and to lay down a fresh, new, strong, and flexible bone matrix. In our youth and up until about the age of 30, the activity of our bone-building osteoblasts outpaces the activity of our bone-dissolving osteoclasts. This is how we build our peak bone mass, the strongest and densest our skeleton will ever be. From our 30s until menopause, these two forces are in a state of relative balance, a state of equilibrium, where the amount of bone being broken down is roughly equal to the amount being built. Then, at menopause, a dramatic and hormonally driven shift occurs. The female hormone, estrogen, is a powerful and primary protector of our bones. One of its most important jobs is to put the brakes on the activity of the osteoclasts, the demolition crew. When our estrogen levels plummet during menopause, it is like the foreman of the demolition crew has been given a permanent green light. The activity of the bone-dissolving osteoclasts begins to dramatically outpace the activity of the bone-building osteoblasts. We enter a state of accelerated and often precipitous bone loss. This is the root cause of the epidemic of postmenopausal osteoporosis. So, the problem is not just a lack of new bone being built. It is an overactivity of the cells that are breaking bone down. Any effective, long-term strategy for bone health cannot just focus on providing the building blocks for new bone. It must also address this issue of excessive, osteoclast-driven bone resorption. Now, let's look at the structure of the bone itself. We have been taught that bone is made of calcium. Again, this is a dangerous oversimplification. The bone is actually a complex, composite material. About 30% of your bone is made up of a flexible protein matrix that is composed almost entirely of type 1 collagen. This collagen matrix is the rebar of your bone. It is what gives your bones their resilience and their ability to bend slightly under pressure without breaking. The other 70% of your bone is made up of a mineral complex, with the primary minerals being calcium and phosphorus, that is deposited onto this collagen matrix. This mineral complex is the concrete of your bone. It is what gives your bones their hardness and their compressive strength. A healthy bone is like reinforced concrete. It has both hardness and flexibility. A strategy that focuses only on dumping more and more calcium into the system is like trying to build a wall by just pouring concrete without any rebar. The resulting structure will be hard, but it will be incredibly brittle and prone to shattering under stress. A truly effective bone-building strategy must nourish both the collagen matrix and the mineral component of the bone. This is the complex, multifaceted, and hormonally driven challenge we face. We have an overactive demolition crew, and we need to nourish both the flexible protein framework and the hard mineral content of our bones. This is a task for which a simple, isolated calcium pill is woefully and tragically ill-equipped. So, if a calcium pill is an incomplete and inadequate answer, what is the solution? What is this superfood that can so elegantly and so powerfully address all of these complex, interconnected issues? The hero of our story, the food that I believe should be a non-negotiable, daily staple for every woman over the age of 60, is a food that has been a cornerstone of traditional Japanese cuisine for centuries. A food that is a testament to the profound, health-giving power of fermentation. We are talking about natto, and I know that for many of you, this may be a completely new and perhaps even a strange-sounding food. Natto is made by taking soybeans and fermenting them with a specific, beneficial bacterium called Bacillus subtilis. The result is a dish with a unique, pungent aroma and a distinctive, sticky, stringy texture. While it can be an acquired taste for the Western palate, I am here to tell you, with the full weight of the scientific evidence behind me, that overcoming any initial hesitation to embrace this incredible food is one of the single most powerful and protective things you can ever do for your skeletal health. Let us now, with forensic precision, dissect the remarkable, multi-pronged, bone-building arsenal that is contained within a daily serving of natto. Let's begin with the nutrient that natto is most famous for, a nutrient so powerful and so specific to this food that it is, without exaggeration, in a league of its own. We are talking about vitamin K2, and specifically a very special, long-acting form of it called menaquinone 7, or -7 Malawian quatches. We have spoken before of the critical role of vitamin K2 as the body's calcium traffic cop. While vitamin K1 is for clotting, vitamin K2 is for calcium regulation. It does two miraculous and life-saving things. First, it activates a protein called osteocalcin. Osteocalcin is produced by your bone-building osteoblast cells, and its job is to act like a biological glue, grabbing calcium from the bloodstream and depositing it directly onto the collagen matrix of your bone. However, osteocalcin is born in an inactive state, can only be switched on by vitamin K2. Without enough K2, you can have all the calcium in the world circulating in your blood, but your body will be unable to effectively use it to build new, strong bone. You are taking your calcium supplements, but the construction crew has no tools to work with the concrete. The second, and equally important, job of vitamin K2 is to activate another protein called matrix GLA protein, or MGP. MGP is the most powerful inhibitor of arterial calcification in the human body. Its job is to patrol your arteries and to actively remove any rogue calcium that is trying to deposit itself in the soft, flexible walls of your blood vessels. The accumulation of calcium in the arteries is the hardening of the arteries that leads to heart attacks and strokes. MGP is your body's own internal artery-clearing crew. But just like osteocalcin, MGP is completely dependent on vitamin K2 to be activated. Do you see the breathtaking elegance of this system? Vitamin K2 is the master switch that simultaneously tells calcium to go into your bones and to stay out of your arteries. A diet rich in K2 is a diet that builds strong bones and clean, flexible arteries. Now, here is the shocking part. Our modern, Western diet is almost universally and catastrophically deficient in this critical nutrient. And the single, richest, most potent, and most bioavailable food source of the powerful -7 Malawian kwacha's form of vitamin K2 on the entire planet is natto. A single 2 tablespoon serving of natto can contain over 500 micrograms of -7 Malawian kwachas, a dose that is many times higher than what you could get from any other food. The scientific evidence linking natto consumption to bone health is overwhelming. Large, population-based studies in Japan have shown a direct and powerful correlation. The regions where people eat the most natto have the lowest rates of hip fractures. This is not a coincidence. It is a direct, nutritional cause and effect. But the natto story does not end with its unparalleled K2 content. This is just the first, albeit the most spectacular, of its bone-building superpowers. This brings us to the second pillar of its strength, its role as a powerful plant-based source of bone-building protein. As we have established, our bones are not just a pile of minerals. They are a living, flexible protein matrix made of collagen. To build and to maintain this crucial rebar framework, our bodies require a steady supply of high-quality protein. The soybeans from which natto is made are a fantastic source of complete, plant-based protein, providing all 9 of the essential amino acids. But the process of fermentation takes this to another level. The fermentation process begins to pre-digest the protein in the soybeans, breaking it down into smaller, more easily absorbable peptides and amino acids. This is a critical advantage for an older woman whose digestive system may be less robust. The nutrients in natto are, in a sense, pre-unlocked, making them incredibly gentle on the system and highly bioavailable. By providing a rich supply of these easily digestible amino acids, natto is providing the essential raw materials your body needs to constantly repair and to rebuild the flexible, collagenous matrix of your bones. Furthermore, natto contains a unique enzyme that is produced during the fermentation process, an enzyme called nattokinase. While nattokinase is most famous for its powerful blood clot-dissolving cardiovascular benefits, it is also a proteolytic enzyme, meaning it helps to break down protein, which may further enhance the overall digestibility and absorption of the nutrients in the meal. We now have the master calcium regulator, K2, and the essential protein building blocks for the collagen matrix. This brings us to the third pillar of natto's power, its synergistic blend of essential, bone-supportive minerals. While calcium gets all the headlines, a strong skeleton is built from a complex and synergistic team of minerals. And natto is a veritable treasure chest of these crucial cofactors. Let's look at just a few. First, magnesium. Magnesium is arguably just as important for bone health as calcium. About 60% of the magnesium in your body is stored in your bones, and it is a critical part of the bone's crystal lattice structure. But even more importantly, magnesium is essential for the proper metabolism of both calcium and vitamin D. The enzyme that converts vitamin D into its active, hormonal form is magnesium-dependent. If you are deficient in magnesium, you cannot properly activate the vitamin D that is needed to absorb your calcium. A calcium supplement, taken in the absence of sufficient magnesium, can be largely ineffective. Natto is a fantastic source of this essential, bone-building mineral. Second, zinc. Zinc is another crucial cofactor for our bone-building osteoblast cells. It is required for the production of several key enzymes that are involved in the synthesis of the collagen matrix. A deficiency in zinc can directly impair the ability of your body to build new, healthy bone tissue. natto provides a significant dose of this vital mineral. Third, manganese. Manganese is a trace mineral that is essential for the production of the proteoglycans that form the cartilage and bone matrix. It is a key player in the creation of the very ground substance into which the collagen and minerals are laid down. Do you see the incredible holistic wisdom at play here? natto is not just providing a single isolated nutrient. It is providing the entire synergistic bone-building team. It is providing the K2 to direct the calcium, the protein to build the collagen, the magnesium to activate the vitamin D, and the zinc and manganese to power the enzymatic machinery. This is a level of nutritional completeness and synergy that you will never, ever find in an isolated pill or a supplement. Finally, we arrive at our fourth pillar, a benefit that addresses the hormonal and inflammatory chaos that is at the very root of postmenopausal bone loss. We are talking about natto's role as a source of phytoestrogens and as a powerful, gut-healing, anti-inflammatory food. The soybeans in natto are the richest source in the food supply of a class of plant-based compounds called isoflavones. These isoflavones are phytoestrogens, which means they have a molecular structure that is very similar to our own human estrogen. Because of this similarity, they can bind to the estrogen receptors in our bodies. In a postmenopausal woman, where the levels of natural estrogen are very low, these gentle, plant-based estrogens can provide a weak, but beneficial estrogen-like signal. Remember how we said that estrogen is the primary brake on the bone-dissolving osteoclast cells? The isoflavones in natto appear to have a similar, gentle, brake-applying effect. Numerous studies have shown that a higher intake of soy isoflavones in postmenopausal women is associated with a lower rate of bone resorption and a higher bone mineral density. By consuming natto, you are providing your body with a natural, gentle, and safe, plant-based tool to help quell the overactivity of your bone's demolition crew. And finally, as a fermented food, natto is a powerful probiotic. It is rich in the beneficial bacterium Bacillus subtilis, which contributes to a healthy and diverse gut microbiome. As we have learned, a healthy gut is the command and control center of our immune system and is our primary defense against chronic, systemic inflammation. By healing the gut and calming this systemic inflammation, the probiotic power of natto helps to reduce the overall catabolic pro-inflammatory state that is so destructive to our bones and to all the tissues of our body. Let us now step back and behold the magnificent, multidimensional, bone-building masterpiece that is natto. It is the single richest source on the planet of the master calcium-directing vitamin K2. It is a source of highly bioavailable, predigested protein to build our collagen matrix. It is a treasure trove of the essential, synergistic mineral cofactors like magnesium and zinc, and it is a source of gentle, bone-protective phytoestrogens and powerful, gut-healing probiotics. There is no other food on earth that addresses the complex problem of postmenopausal osteoporosis from so many different, powerful, and synergistic angles. So now that we have established, with unshakable scientific certainty, the why of natto, we must turn to the practical and all-important how. How do we incorporate this unique and powerful food into our daily lives? The traditional way to eat natto in Japan is for breakfast, served over a bowl of rice, often mixed with a bit of soy sauce, mustard, and some chopped green onions. For the Western palate, this may be a challenging place to start. But there are many gentle and delicious ways to introduce natto into your diet. First, the sourcing. You can find natto in the refrigerated or frozen section of most Asian grocery stores and in many well-stocked health food stores. It typically comes in small, single-serving styrofoam or cardboard containers. Second, the preparation. When you open the container, you will see the soybeans, which are covered in a sticky, stringy film. This is the healthy bacterial matrix, and it is a sign of a high-quality product. The traditional method is to vigorously stir the natto with a pair of chopsticks for a minute or two. This process breaks down the cell walls and makes the nutrients even more bioavailable. It will become even more sticky and stringy. This is a good thing. Third, the integration. For a beginner, the key is to mix the natto with other, more familiar flavors and textures. A fantastic gateway method is to make a natto power scramble. You would simply scramble 2 or 3 of your favorite pasture-raised eggs, and in the last 30 seconds of cooking, you would stir in 2 tablespoons of your prepared natto. The eggs provide their own wonderful, bone-supportive nutrients, and their familiar flavor and texture can help to balance the unique taste of the natto. Another wonderful method is to stir your 2-tablespoon serving of natto into a bowl of warm, savory oatmeal or a cooked grain like quinoa. You can add a drizzle of soy sauce or some toasted sesame oil for flavor. You can also use it as a powerful, nutrient-dense topping for a slice of avocado toast. The goal is to start with a small, manageable amount, perhaps just a single tablespoon, and to pair it with foods you already love. Over time, as your palate adjusts, you may find that you come to enjoy its unique, savory, umami flavor all on its own. The key to unlocking the profound, bone-building power of natto is consistency. This is a daily therapeutic ritual. It is your daily nutritional prescription for a strong and resilient skeleton. This is a message of profound and radical hope for every woman who has ever looked at her bone density scan with a sense of fear and resignation. The narrative of inevitable postmenopausal decline is a myth. You are not a helpless victim of your own hormones. You have, at your disposal, a simple, affordable, and incredibly powerful tool to fight back. You have the power to nourish your bones at a level of depth and sophistication that you may have never thought possible. The future of your strength, your stability, and your unwavering independence is not in a pill bottle. It is waiting for you in the sticky, stringy, and profoundly magical heart of a simple, fermented soybean.